some of the techniques I use, number one, is finding a community. Finding a community of people that I am well aligned with. Because, moving, okay, if you have like a transition in your life, you get that you still have, your mindset is still on the old things that you know. So is there something in this new place that I am at that my mind can still make sense with? So if I find something like that, and that now mostly comes with me with community, is once I'm in that community, then I can be able to learn from you. I can be able to learn from this other person, this other person. Then I am able to seamlessly move into the system. Hello everyone, welcome to the Balance It podcast. In this podcast, we have all conversations about wellness and purpose.
We discuss aspects relating to purpose-driven living, personal development, fitness, and anything lifestyle. I am Gertrude Nasike.
And I am Eda Onyoni, and we are your hosts.
Yes.
So in today's conversation, we will be having our monthly segment where we have questions about all the topics that we've been having throughout the month. So as we all know, the rules of the game, you pick a question randomly. These are all the questions. You pick the question randomly, read it out, make us understand.
Okay.
In case you need any interpretation, please do that.
Yeah.
And then we'll be able to answer as we go in turns.
Okay.
So let me give you the privilege
of
picking it first.
Okay, so this one says, what advice would you give someone currently facing a major life transition based on your own experience? I think that's self-explanatory, right?
Advice.
Yes.
Advice based on your... Yes. Oh yeah, it's self-explanatory. You know what I thought? I thought like you meant advice is self-explanatory. So I'm like, what do you mean?
Like the question itself.
Yes, it's self-explanatory. So advice that I would give somebody. First of all, guys, if you've not watched the life transition video, go watch it. And then come back, because that is how you can be able to relate with all these questions, because we will definitely be talking about something that we said in the previous video. So ensure that you watch it and come back to continue with this. So an advice that I would give somebody is just begin. Do not let any fear to withhold you back from whatever that you want to do or whatever that you want to achieve in life. So that you think in your mind makes sense to you. It does not have to make sense with anyone else. It does not have to make sense with your family, with your friends. It does not have to make sense. As long as it makes sense with you, then there is a reason why God put that idea in your mind.
Yeah, very true.
So actualize it, because it is in beginning that you can actually get to know the challenges and learnings and actually be able to succeed in whatever that you want to do. So do not let that fear hold you back. So just begin. That is for me.
Wow. I think I would really agree with you on that. And for me, I would say be open. Just be open. Be open to opportunities. Be open to other possibilities, because we don't know everything. Like, just don't think you know everything, or how you've been brought up is like that's all you need to know. Just be open, think, and also be ready to embrace new opportunities when they come, so as to also come out of an area of stagnation. Sometimes it's just because we are really rigid. We want one specific thing. But if you only had been open and looked at different possibilities to going to your end goal, then you probably would be out of that place.
Yes. I totally agree. Wow. Yes, so I think I'll go to the next, I'll pick the next one.
Okay.
But I can totally agree and relate with being open-minded. Okay, the next question is about unhealthy living. So the question is, how do you handle cravings for unhealthy snacks?
I think I got cornered. For me, I think
and we can just say like unhealthy food generally, not just
unhealthy food, snacks. Like just not snacks. Yeah. I think for me, just really try to, like, I really try just to eat them once in a while, because I wouldn't say like they are cravings. You see those things that you just buy once in a while, but it's not because you can't do with them or you really feel like having them there. No, it's just that maybe sometimes you go for grocery shopping or to buy your stuff, and then you decide maybe this time I'll buy it, but it's not like there's something within me that is just pushing, like I'm just craving that thing. No, so I would say I really
that you don't have cravings. Do you have cravings?
I do, but not for the unhealthy snacks. Okay, according to how I understood the question. Understanding the question is also objective.
Or maybe unhealthy is relevant for you.
Yeah, unhealthy is relevant and subjective.
Fries are healthy.
Fries, I wouldn't say they're healthy, but it's because I don't eat fries as much. I might even stay for like 2 months or a whole month without eating fries.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying like maybe it's not something I'm really struggling with. Yes.
Even me, well, not like I struggle as well. I was just trying to screw you.
Yeah, you see what you're doing.
Not like I struggle as well with cravings, but I never have like those major cravings. But there was a time that I had cravings for just KFC food, like KFC.
Yeah,
there is a way that the crunchiness, I just crave sometimes the crunchiness. And how I managed to get through it, I'm still dealing with it either way. How I managed to get to deal with it is like I try to tell myself I can't be a slave to my own body. So let me try. If it is that KFC, however much it is, just maybe 1,000 for it, I will have to save for it. Maybe I tell myself, even if it is this one, and I know that I can go and just swipe my card and buy it, because it was not part of my plan.
Sure.
Then let me try to save for it. Then so that I try to avoid being a slave for my own body.
I think this just reminded me of a quote, or rather a concept in Atomic Habits, where the author is saying that you try and make your habit, like the bad habits, really hard to achieve or to do them. So I think it just relates with you having to save up, because you're thinking saving up should just be normally for saving up like other things. But if you have to actually now save up to actually get an unhealthy snack or just an unhealthy food, as according to you, definitely it's relative. Then it really makes it hard for you, like to even keep like buying it every time, because you can't say that I'm just saving up today and I buy it tomorrow. It takes a while before you decide now to get it. Wow, that's really,
and even like
really
the mentality of saving. Saving is in our minds. It's not like I just put money today somewhere and I pick it up tomorrow.
True.
That mentality of saving, I think in my mind, I can't just put it there and pick it up tomorrow. So I have to like save at least, if it is for a month.
At least.
But I feel like sometimes it's just good to just we as well. The whole point is we need to work to enjoy whatever that we are.
Very true.
So sometimes it's good to just give your body sometimes what it wants. But the point is, do not be a slave to that. So know know your limits and know how to manage through the whole situation.
Oh wow,
yeah,
that's brilliant.
On to the next. We are moving so fast.
Yeah.
This is going to be a short one.
Yeah, it's going to be a short one. Direct to the point. Okay. What strategies do you employ to enhance your adaptability? Okay, I would explain because this time you've brought new rules that I have to really explain the question. So how I've understood this question is like, what techniques do you use probably to deal with change or to make sure you easily adapt maybe to change or to different situations? Yeah.
Yes, I think that is why we needed well, not like I had not understood, but it makes you think outside when you are actually seeing it, when you are paraphrasing it in your own words. So some of the techniques I use, number one, is finding a community. Finding a community of people that I am well aligned with. Because moving, okay, if you have like a transition in your life, you get that you still have your mindset is still on the old things that you know. So is there something in this new place that I am at that my mind can still make sense with? So if I find something like that, and that now mostly comes with me with community, is once I'm in that community, then I can be able to learn from you. I can be able to learn from this other person, this other person. Then I am able to seamlessly move into the system. It's like when maybe moving to a different country, the type of food.
True.
In my mind, I really don't know what I'm going to buy in the supermarket. But when I'm in a community and maybe you tell me you use this one when you're cooking, even
true.
if you are not from my country, then I will be able to easily, because it's like I can relate with you, so there is no way you can lie to me. So when I'm going to buy, then I will be able to.
Very true.
So number one, community works so much for me. And in the other thing, I can say maybe in terms of routines, it's like I normally just tell myself that I'm in a different maybe setup. So let me try to adjust to what, because sometimes I realized I get to beat myself so bad because I want my previous routine to work. Like that is what was working. So why is it not working in this specific?
Very true.
In this specific setup. So let me try to just put myself in this setup and rewrite again how I want my routine in this specific setup would work for me.
Oh wow.
So once I do that, then I think easily it helps, because actually my main problem was the routine aspect. Because I could beat myself so up. I need that thing to work. But this is a whole different thing.
Yeah.
What works for you?
Well, I think for me, I would also say like routine. That I would agree with you completely, because it really helps you to reset. It helps me to reset a lot. And I would say that really worked for me. And it works for me every time I encounter maybe change or a different situation, because I just go back to zero. You might find maybe probably, let's say you're in school and your schedule is completely different. Maybe when you go on break, when you try to really fit your routine, the one you used while in school, and now that you're completely on break, maybe for 3 months, it's not going to work, because the times have changed, the activities you're doing during the break have changed completely. So if you're going to use that routine, it's going to really mess you up. And then that's when you'll start feeling, oh, I'm feeling overwhelmed, I'm feeling pressured, I feel like it's like I don't have enough time. But in real sense, you probably just have to adjust to the new routine and ensure to look for things that work. So for me, a routine, just as you, really makes me reset, because it just takes me back to square zero and then starts building up what works for that specific situation. And another thing I would just say is being open-minded. Over the recent years, I've become like very open, like I've become a very open person and someone who would easily accept situations. Like, for instance, you can say the way you're saying, like moving to a different country. I would like if it were some years back, I would really struggle with the thought of even moving out, and like I would really battle with this thought. But recently, I just felt like once I've understood this is what's happening or this is what's going to happen, I would easily accept the situation and deal less with the back and forth or of what will happen. And I would just I won't want to overthink of what will happen, because I normally feel like as long as something has happened, definitely I feel like it's in God's will. So if he actually allowed it to happen in a certain way, then that means he already knows what's next. So my only hope, my only task is just to follow through to the next steps. And that's why I find acceptance really easy. And it has also come up with just being open generally. Yeah, so those are the things that really work for me.
And I like this idea of being open-minded, because you have mentioned it so much.
Yeah.
Even in our previous conversations, or even outside camera conversations, you are super open that in case something happens, me, I can be like, okay, so what next? But you're like, okay, so what do we do next?
Yeah, it has already happened. Like, okay, have your refractory period. Think, get stressed at that specific time, but okay, it has already happened. So what's next? Because I realize you should let's focus more on what's next than the problem itself, because focusing more on it is not going to change so much, because where your energy is and where your focus is, that's where your energy really flows. And if it's really focusing on the problem, then it means it's just all negativity, and then your whole energy is going to the negative. You're just having bad vibes, and it's totally changed even how you relate with people and how you feel about yourself.
Yeah, I totally agree. And even making you stagnant,
Yeah, very true. Very true. Very true.
Okay. On to the next question. Okay. Speaking of stagnant, what role do fear and comfort zones play in the feeling of being stuck or stagnant?
For me, I would say, like, for fear, it really makes it hard for someone or an individual to take a leap of faith, like just that one step that might actually take them to the next level. Because you're always maybe afraid of what will people say, what will people think, or what if I fail? And I think this is what really holds back so many dreams. Like, someone is just afraid, or maybe what if I'm not good enough to actually deliver this maybe specific presentation or whatever task I've been given. So you'd find it really holds people back because they cannot take that leap of faith that might actually take them to the right direction, and makes them feel now stuck. Another now on comfort. This one, I think I'm a victim. I am a big victim. I've been a victim before. Like, you see, when you get to a point, okay, the way you set goals, and then you get to a point where you feel like, it's like I've achieved this goal. And then you feel like,
yes.
The moment you just feel relaxed, and then have nothing to really trigger, again, the desire for something different or to push through to a different level, there's a very high likelihood you're going to stay into that period of comfort and relaxation. And the moment you really want to come back will be so stressful that getting back on track will really take a long time for you to really just go back to being the energetic person and just going for things that you want. So I think comfort is relatively good, just a bit. Okay, celebrate that moment, relax for that small moment, but just don't feel like you're there already. Like, just keep grinding, keep working.
And I think I can relate 100%, because now for me, it worked with when I write my to-do list, and I start with maybe the easier things, when you tick the easier things, it's like
sure.
you have ticked, at least you have ticked something.
Something.
And then now it's like my mind goes comfortable. It becomes comfortable. So getting to the major things that were actually supposed to be done for the day, I get that I don't deal with them. And now you see, it is even better when you handle the major things
earlier than true.
Yeah, so that is the other strategy that I have tried to use like recently. Trying to do the hard things first before the easier things that I can just do within 5 minutes and I'm done. Sometimes I could just do take a 5-minute thing and I feel like I have done
you have achieved it. So long as you have a tick.
Yeah. And I think fear, talking about fear, fear, yes, I think as you have stated it very clearly, it holds so many people back. And I was just imagining, can you imagine how many people have passed because they have passed, like they have died with their ideas in their mind because they did not actualize them. So I think I was watching a movie and I realized that, and I was like, what can I do with this fear, even for myself as an individual? So what I try to do recently is just to face that fear. Facing that fear has helped me. Like if I'm supposed to, if I know maybe my goal is, what is my goal? Let me see. If I'm supposed to read a book, maybe it's maybe 200 pages. Okay, no. If I'm supposed to, maybe let me talk about starting this podcast. If I'm supposed to start this podcast, but I still have fear in me that maybe how will people view what is in my mind? So how do I conquer that fear? Is just by starting. How do I conquer that fear? By reading. How do I conquer that fear? By meeting people who can be able to jog my mind and I can be able to think differently. So because now fear definitely it will make you stuck. But now how you handle that fear is the determinant of how you will be able to leap, like jump out of that specific fear zone that you are in.
Wow, that's a very great perspective. I had not looked at it in attaching every specific fear with a skill or something that can really actually solve it. I had always just looked at it as general fear, like it's just fear. And but that's a really good breakdown again.
And I think even what you were talking about, like breaking those bigger things, those bigger goals into smaller chunks of goals, it's like it helps you break that fear, because if you start, then it's a smaller thing you will have ticked, so you will have the momentum to continue moving on to the next.
Very true.
And I think I just remembered what you were saying the other day about you reading Atomic Habits, and now when you want to move to the next book, you must have like another book there already with you, so that you don't just be comfortable that you finished reading, even if reading was part of your goals this year. I think maybe you can speak about that.
So basically what I'm doing, especially for the Atomic Habits, once I got the book, the hard copy book, I committed to now reading like a specific chapter on a daily basis, because I knew for me, like, staying and just reading a book the entire time wouldn't be possible. So I decided, since I cannot read a full book, maybe in one sitting or in 2 days, I would rather start with the small chunks of it. So it's a big book. I think slightly above 200 pages. And so I decided to just pick like a chapter a day. And actually right now, I finished the last chapter yesterday, and currently I'm just like finalizing on now the general summary and the points to note that I've been picking from the book actually.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And then what I did already, because the goal of next month is to read another book. I already want to get a next book that I'm going to be reading next month, and I'm going to get that book next week, so that I don't get back to the habit of not reading, because I feel like now I'm finished. Now Atomic Habit, it's like I let me just wait. If I don't have that other book, be rest assured, the likelihood of going back to that habit might take a while. So that's why I want just to stay consistent. And by doing this, I'm just getting the book to have it already around, so that once I'm done with the analysis of these ones and knowing the points maybe where I want to go back and really seek clarification within the book, I can just directly get into the new book. And I think this also works for every other different aspects of life. If probably you want to do something else, and by the time you do that thing, probably there's something that needs to be trigger that specific activity or habit or aspect. Just try on working on the trigger before you get to that habit. Because if you don't start working on that trigger early, the most probable bit is you'll finish this habit and then there'll be a big gap there. And then starting again from zero to where you are, gaining the momentum will be a little bit hard.
Get a trigger, guys. Get a trigger. Word for the day. That is tweetable. Who is supposed to pick
you?
Myself. We were talking about comfort zone, so it's you.
So it's me. Wow. Then that was very long.
But I like the conversation.
Also me. So, stagnation.
We are unstagnating ourselves.
We must. Okay, so have there been external factors that have contributed to a sense of stagnation in life?
External factors that have contributed to a sense of stagnation.
Or just external factors that you think normally contribute to stagnation in people's life within the society or something.
I think I will joyride with what you were talking before. We were talking about the societal expectations
true.
that you have to go to school and then get a job and maybe get married, like that whole narrative.
There's a whole plan of how you should do life. In
and
society.
Life has no manual. I think we need to normalize that. Life has no manual. And you can actually decide to go that path of the society, what the society expects of you, which is okay.
It's very much okay.
Or you can decide to go that path and then it does not work for you. You become stagnant. So what do you do once you are stagnant? It is now not trying to force things or be rigid. Now the point of now being open-minded comes in. So I think societal expectations mostly around how our lives should be is what I could talk about.
I think I would not agree less. I would just be in total agreement with you, actually. For me also, it was just like societal expectations based on like just the foolproof life manual that everyone has to go through, especially back in Africa. But anyway, I think it's also relative, like you just find what works for you.
And I think, guys, in case you have anything that we could have that you think is something like an external factor that is making you be stagnant, we've just talked about societal expectations, so ensure that you put down on the comment section what you think is maybe affecting you externally. Internally, we can be able to control.
Sure.
And I think internally, those are the things that we are either learning or unlearning as we
tried to mention them during the transition conversation.
Yes. All right, so it's my
turn.
We are moving so well. Okay, this healthy eating, I think it's following us.
Let me ask, why is it that you're the only one choosing? It seems like it's directly speaking to you.
Okay, all right, well noted, Gertrude. You're speaking into my eating habits.
Yes, I'm speaking.
Okay, the next question is, do you plan your meals and how does this contribute to healthier eating habits?
Okay, so I will just be honest. Initially,
be honest.
We
are all about honesty here.
Initially, I used to plan my meals, and it would be very easy, I think, because of the kind of routine I had before. So I would know, like, especially I even had written down like what to eat when, but also because it's very hard. I find it so stressful thinking about what to eat next, honestly. So I used to plan my meals, and I would ensure, just as I said before, like eating, okay, what is considered unhealthy. I don't know, like eating what everyone considers unhealthy. I rarely like it. Like, you would just rarely find me just buying some, like, those like unhealthy snacks, as you have said, as Edda has said.
Unhealthy snacks.
So you see, so initially I would plan, and it would really be great because I would just do mostly starch, proteins, and a lot of vegetables, definitely. But when I shifted now, like, let's say, moving to a different country, especially now finding vegetables that are really, like, you see, like, vegetables. Finding it's a little bit very hard to incorporate it in every meal. So I think that might just be the deficit. So, and then just getting to find that you don't have extreme varieties of food that you can actually prepare. So it's not easy for me to, like, really plan the meals
beforehand.
So most of the time I just eat what I feel I have in the house, or what I got. But I've still just stuck to now just carbs and protein and fruits, because fruits are very affordable, and there are many actually here. So, and fruits, but the vegetable section now has kind of gone down.
I think when we actually came here the first time, I was having, for me, if one area of my life and I feel is important to me is that, like, there is a deficit, I will try to find something. The problem is being disciplined enough to actually ensure that I do it consistently. But that is something I'm working on. So, like, when we came, I actually wrote down. I sat down. I wrote Monday, breakfast, lunch, dinner. Then dinner will be the next lunch for the next day. So just think about breakfast and dinner, breakfast and dinner.
True.
It worked for some time, but now the problem with that is that I could get used to the same kind of food. Then now you feel like you need some change.
A change,
Then the problem is that other change is it's not healthy food.
Definitely.
All the healthy foods you had put them in the meal plan. Now they are over, so you have to think about something else. So these days, I have a sister who is a nutritionist. So she's the one I'm always calling, what did you have for dinner?
Yesterday.
Let me try to see if I can be able to incorporate that, or maybe what can I be able to incorporate. Because now we are in different regions. Then definitely it's different. Right now it's different. But I try to incorporate some things. Because, speaking to somebody who is experienced, then she can tell you maybe something that you had actually not thought about.
Yeah, very true. That's
like the other day we were talking and she told me about liver. I'm like, I've actually not bought liver. So I can try look for liver around. So I think nutrition, I think we need to, maybe we are not doing so well. We can bring like an expert
I think
to talk about, so that we also improve ourselves, even in this specific area. And maybe bringing an expert who is in our region to even help us individually.
That's very true.
So who is okay?
I'm next.
I picked the healthy
one. How many
one.
are we remaining with?
Two remaining after that one.
Okay. We are doing well. On the right track. Okay, so in what ways have you learned to embrace change as an opportunity for growth rather than viewing it as a disruptive force?
Change. I love this change topic because I love change. In the first place, I don't like being in the same place. Over and over. That's why I get so bored with food, taking the same food easily. Every day. So, how change has made? Please read it again.
How change, like, how you've learned to embrace change as an opportunity for growth rather than a force of disruption.
I think when we were talking about the life transitions, I talked about moving from a public high school to a private campus. So I think that was my first change that I took it very much positively, and it has now formed me who I am. So because that was like my foundation, I'll just speak about that. Yes, it was as I said back again in that podcast, in that episode. I was very much laid back, focused on my books and everything, but going to an environment where people are so composed, they know how to articulate their words very well, they know how to do the presentations. Then I really didn't know about how to use PowerPoint very well, but now getting to an environment where people know all those things, it was a choice for me to either decide to continue being who I am in my comfort zone or take it like as a disruptive positive change. And that is what I did, and that is what helped me, because if I think in my mind right now with my personality, if I could have just been that other person, then maybe we couldn't be having this, then maybe I couldn't be here. So yeah, I think that's it for me.
I think for me, basically, we'll just go back to what I've said over and over again, like easily accepting situations and just being open. Like nowadays, as a result of change and major transitions in life, like I have learned to really accept situations very fast and try and now just focus on what's next. And then also just understanding that sometimes like everything actually happens for a reason. I know it's cliche. Some people think like, we've had that over and over again.
But it's not.
Honestly, it does. Okay, according to my experiences, I feel like everything really happens for a reason. Even the worst of the situations, you will just find after a while, even it might take a few years, and then you realize that was actually needed because probably it has built you in other ways. Probably it opened other opportunities, and that's had to happen for you to cross over to the other side. You understand? So I think for me, just understanding that everything happens for my good, and it's through God's grace. And I think that has really helped me. That's how I embrace change as an opportunity for growth.
And I think it's good to maybe say it that yes, everything happens for our own good, because but when we are in those specific moments facing through every challenge that you are facing through,
you don't see that.
But it's good to continue having that thing in your mind that gives you like that ray of hope that you were talking about.
Even if you don't believe at that moment, just have it at the back of your mind. You know, sometimes you might really say something, and deep within, you know, by the way, it has not gotten deep, like it's not that deep, or you don't mean it that deep. So even if it's at that point, that situation where you're really facing that difficulty, even if you don't believe it, just don't lose that hope. Just have it at the back of your mind. Let it just even be blurry somewhere. It happens for a reason.
For sure. All right, and the second last question. I think the last one, you don't have an option. You just have to pick it. Okay, so this is a long one. How do you balance self-care and well-being with the demands that may come with life transition?
I think this is relative. It depends with what you consider self-care. For me, I would say I consider self-care as being physically fit and healthy, and also just having like taking care of myself as a person, my mental well-being, and also just looking good and presentable. It really makes you feel some type of way and confident, and just makes you feel good about yourself. You understand? So for me, I think when transitions come, I really try to adjust using routines, just as I said before. With these routines, I get to reset back to square zero. And I know in all my routines, I normally put self-care in it. So this anything to do with personal development, mental health, and physical fitness, because I also ensure that I've written working out is always part of my routine. So having a routine really helps during this transition. So you'd find probably maybe before the transition, maybe you would do your personal care stuff in the morning and maybe work out in the morning. But a situation has come where you're very busy in the morning. You can adjust to now working out maybe in the evening or during the day, like just adjusting the situation. So that's really what works for me. That's what helps me balance and give me sanity during these situations.
And I totally agree with you. When it comes to routine as well, because transitions are different for different seasons. So definitely our routines have to be different. The other thing that works for me, as we have said, that our definition for self-care is different and relative for everyone. Now, for me, self-care for me is now embracing all those 5 pillars that I'm always talking about. Ensuring that my finances are okay, physical health is okay, so spiritually I'm okay, mentally I'm like, if I now move to a different setup of my life, I have to try and see if all these pillars are still in check.
Oh wow!
So I try to ensure that even if I'm maybe moving to a different country, are they still in check? And if they are not, what can I do in that specific pillar to be able to maintain how I want to maintain my life? Yeah, I think that's how I just do it.
That's nice.
And finally,
so I was the last one,
and
now, wow, I began and now I'm the one closing. Wow, we have a blank question.
Wow.
This was just a final one to tell our viewers. Bye.
And that is so, I don't know how, because that is the last one.
Yeah, that was the last question. But anyway, it was just a mind trick. Yeah, for us to.
How possible is it? Like, what is the coincidence that you didn't pick it the first question or like the second question? You just picked it the last question.
I actually can't tell because they were all mixed up and I don't know. But it's such a coincidence. I can't answer and I cannot.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
it's beyond you.
It's beyond me. So it was just basically a mind trick for you, because But
wow,
I'm good. It has worked because I'm feeling like you're still with the momentum.
Yeah,
like, one last question.
What is that question about? Like unhealthy habits.
Oh. Anyway, this was really great. I feel like we probably have tackled some of the areas that we didn't in the previous conversations, which is actually a good thing.
Yeah. And in case, guys, we still didn't capture anything else that you would want to hear from us, leave it on the comment section. We will definitely we will be doing all these questions on a monthly basis. So leave it there. We can decide on one day, we just wake up and capture and take all the questions and answer them in one video or like separately. So ensure you hit that subscribe button, comment, and share with your family and friends.
Okay, until next time.
Bye-bye.